So next we will move on to Sam and Evergrow. So before, people couldn't hear, so I'm not sure what the bug was precisely. So maybe Sam, give a little bit of an introduction into Evergrow again, and let people know about it.
Sure. Okay, appreciate the. I'm not sure what the issue was before, so I'll be as quick as I can. So, yeah, Evergrow, for those who don't know, we weren't the first, although a lot of people think we were, but we were the defining BUSD project. So, um, I think we paid nearly 38 million in Binance US dollars to our holders now since we launched late last year. So we do lead that sector, but as we've seen, there are some good projects now also giving out BUSD. I really do believe in that stable income being a very important factor for crypto investors, particularly at this stage of crypto. It's still very new. So I mentioned before, we had a very high market cap. Just like pretty much everyone else in DeFi, it's like bargain basement time for investors, but I'm not going to give any investment advice on that. So we've got a big worldwide team. We've got an interesting makeup in our team. We have designers and animators creating lots of interesting things. We have finance and marketing specialists. We have a very large community team. I think it's about 75 people working in our community team. So we really do believe in supporting the community. So our roadmap was really designed to create a suite of real world utilities. We build everything from the ground up. We're really confident in our ecosystem. Everything we're designing is designed to be hugely scalable. Cryptos have high market caps relative to what they've proven the market so far. So for us, moving into scalable tech is incredibly important. So we do have a bit of a cliche opening utility, which is due very soon, which is an NFT marketplace. But we've built that from the ground up, so it's going to have a lot of unique features, and also we are things that we haven't been able to reveal to our community. But I believe there's far more in NFTs than people are anticipating at this stage. There are huge untapped markets where NFTs are going to become very, very valuable, and it's partnerships really that we're going to be working on rather than selling JPEGs of apes and things like that, because I think that trend will probably start to sort of peter out soon. But NFTs are going to be huge, the next evolution of blockchain. We've got a social media platform, kind of picture Twitter and OnlyFans, but with the ability to tip and subscribe in crypto. So we're excited about that. Now we had cited a wallet and a DEX, but actually we're just going to come out with a wallet now. The biggest problem for DeFi is the tokenomics issue. That issue is not going to be solved at the centralized exchange level. So I know that's not going to be a popular opinion, but centralized exchanges are not going to solve tokenomics because basically every single centralized exchange in the world would have to work together on it, and they'd have to completely change the way they hold tokens, the way they display credits on customer accounts. They'd have to rebuild from the beginning. So anyone who thinks that tokenomics is going to suddenly drop on CEXs, it's not going to happen. But what should happen is a decentralized solution needs to come along. So that's something we believe our wallet could offer. We've got no reason to believe it won't. So we're very excited about that. And then the kind of most exciting thing in our roadmap is actually our Metaverse partnership. Now, I know everybody's got a Metaverse, projects are building their own Metaverses, but we decided to partner up with a company called Objective Reality, who are a gaming company. They have dozens of licenses with major global games that can be played with Oculus headsets in 3D. And they're building an incredibly impressive virtual world called the Abstract. And we're going to be providing the exclusive native currency for that world, along with numerous partnership opportunities. And within that world, we're going to be able to bring our ecosystem. So, you can do this on a normal computer without Oculus as well. This is all cloud-based. This is cutting edge. They have partnerships with NVIDIA and other sort of major software partnerships. So this is pretty cutting edge stuff where, just to give a little edge to the services people are offering, you can visit an NFT gallery and walk around and connect your wallet and interesting things like that. There's lots more that we're not allowed to reveal, but you can have incredible real world experiences in the metaverse. And obviously, when you're the native currency of something so exciting, it's incredibly exciting for your community. As with growth there, the idea is that we will generate revenue from these utilities, and that revenue will buy Evergrow. which will generate rewards. So really, the idea is you just need to hold Evergrow, and you're going to benefit from all of these partnerships, everything we're building. I think that's the most essential thing. And for, like I said, for Wall Street to move that $100 trillion over to crypto, which is currently worth $1 trillion, we have to start proving fundamental value. We have to start matching revenue, profits to market cap, so these traditional metrics can be analyzed by Wall Street. And then once that is happening, with several projects, which is why I really do want to support other projects doing this, because you can't just be the only project to revolutionize a space. Otherwise, it won't get recognized. We need dozens of high quality projects to start generating fundamental value. That's how we bring in, the rest of the money into crypto, or at least some of it. If we just brought in 2 or 3 more percent of the world's investment funds into crypto, that would quadruple our industry. It would be unbelievable for everybody investing at this early stage. So that's what we're doing. That's why when we pay rewards out, like our market cap's low at the moment. I think it's about 78 million, but we've paid out 38 million in rewards. So that's, paid out rewards equivalent to half our market cap. And we haven't even started in terms of what we're going to be paying out with the rewards. So this will help traditional analysts put a value on Evergrow and say, look, Evergrow is worth X amount, this multiple of dividend, or this multiple of revenue. And once they can start doing that with our projects and other projects, that's when DeFi becomes legitimized for global investors. And that's when everybody here today, you guys are in so early. I don't think you even appreciate just how early you are and how lucky we all are to be involved in this space at this point in time.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that's commonly looked upon as well. I do agree with that. I don't think people do realize how early we are, and when the price is cheap like this, it gets people quite emotional. Maybe if they're not so experienced with investing. But we are generally so early. It's crazy. So since we last spoke, you've made quite a lot of progress actually. Your BUSD payout as well. What is the statistic for that right now?
I think we're pushing. I mean, on our website, which is evergrowegc.com, we've got a dashboard. I think we're pushing 38 million, which is probably, and I'm not saying this for any negative reason, but it's probably like all BUSD rewards projects combined. So we are highly rewarding, and our market cap is so low compared to where it's been in the past. So not investment advice, but I do believe we represent good value, considering how much we distribute in rewards. So our website's a pretty cool place to be. I've got to shout out to CP Doge, who built us what I believe is by far the best website in crypto. If anyone wants to go to evergrowegc.com and give us their opinion, even if it's just to tell us the website is nice, I'm pretty proud of it. We've got some nice features on the dashboard there for rewards calculations and things like this.
So another thing that you guys were looking at is VR. So how are Evergrow going to integrate with VR?
Well, it's great, and it's so important. So rather than trying to do it ourselves, the truth is, for crypto to build a metaverse, it's a huge amount of work, a huge amount of development expertise required. So we partnered with an existing virtual reality company. They run bricks and mortar, and they also run an online VR gaming company, and they have these incredible partnerships in place, as I said, including with Nvidia and sort of leaders in the space. They also got some partnerships being worked on, significant partnerships that I don't think I'm allowed to say anything about due to NDAs, but what they're doing is really exciting. They're creating a world where you can effectively hang out in the metaverse. You can play some of the dozens of top quality licensed games that they've got now, so you can enter their arcade. You can have paintball and all this stuff. But Evergrow are going to be providing the native crypto in that world for payments. I mean, they're partnering with food companies, food delivery, so you can order your food while you're gaming and it'll turn up at your door and things like this. And you can walk around their world. They're selling apartments, and we've had all sorts of exciting conversations about bringing real world assets through scanning into your apartment. So if you've got like an ornament or something you like, you can actually scan it, bring it into your apartment. So people can really start. The difference is these guys have done all this. This is a long term project that's been going on for a long time with a team dedicated to it. Now, for Evergrow to have tried to build our own metaverse would have just taken too much resource away from us. And there's a lot of symbiosis in this partnership between the two. They're gonna make their money from their side, and our holders are going to benefit through demand and volume of our token. And it's really exciting to see the quality that they're producing as well. And they're going into a launch very shortly. So that's the Abstract. If you look for the Abstract VR, they're a really exciting company. And I've got great faith in where they're going to go. And for Evergrow, this is a pretty easy partnership for us, to be honest, but it's hugely significant. We've given them a lot of support, and they've given us a lot of support, and we're going to start integrating our technology. So our social media, for example, when Crater goes live, which is going to be a good few months off, I'd like to say this year, but probably early next year. Crater is our social media, sort of Twitter, OnlyFans equivalent. When that goes live, the next iteration of that is that you're going to be able to hang out in a metaverse through your social media. There are some far more exciting things that unfortunately I'm not allowed to talk about that will bring immense real life experiences to sort of millions of people worldwide who wouldn't have had access to them. And that will again be via the metaverse. So I believe the potential for the metaverse partnership. Metaverse is a word that's thrown around a lot these days, but it's clearly going to be a big thing, and I don't think that people. I think a little bit like NFTs. I don't think people quite understand that the current iterations are not where we're going to be in 2 to 3 years, but where we are going to be in 2 to 3 years is probably going to be 100 times bigger than where we are now.
Yeah, I mean, in general, the crypto space, if you look at it market cap wise, if you look at gold, the market cap of gold, I believe, it's over 20 trillion, right? Easily, and the crypto, well, Bitcoin market cap is not even at 1 trillion, not right now anyway. The entire crypto cap is, but Bitcoin itself is nowhere near that right now, which is absolutely crazy. If I just look that up quickly, to make sure my statistics are correct. Yeah, the
Yeah, I
gold
think gold is
market cap.
certainly over 10 trillion.
Yeah, you're
I
right.
mean, it's come
11
down,
point.
but yeah, it just goes to show. I mean, and global markets, even while they're down, are kind of 100 trillion or so, aren't they? So we're with crypto being hovering around a trillion.
Yeah.
I think the thing about crypto is, it's going to become a way to invest essentially, as much as the SEC don't want it to be. It's going to become a far easier way to invest with far more features available. Blockchain smart contracts goes way beyond holding a share certificate.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what crypto can offer goes far beyond, and also the transparency of crypto. Or the potential transparency goes far beyond what Wall Street can actually offer.
I honestly
And
just think it's crazy though. Obviously, with gold itself being just over 11 trillion, and the entire crypto market cap not being even at 1 trillion right now, I think that says it all, because you can't, obviously gold is gold. You can't put crypto in one boat, really. You have so many different projects, so many different utilities, and obviously it's decentralized finance. A bank can't tell you can withdraw your money, you can't withdraw your money, you can move your money, you can't move your money, same thing really. But you get the picture, and that in itself is huge. And if you obviously, if you store safely, it's extremely secure. You don't have to rely on what if a bank goes bankrupt, and what if a bank
yeah,
just no longer exists. You don't have to store your money in a bunch of different banks with a bunch of different passwords and a bunch of
this
different
brings up an
security
interesting
questions. Yeah.
that brings up an interesting question that's sort of going on in our little DeFi world at the moment. Is that I think we need to ask some serious questions about centralized exchanges and what value they bring. I mean, I've come out recently as a project leader, and a few other project leaders have done the same, to say, look, we are struggling to see the value in centralized exchanges. Centralized exchanges are the banks of crypto, and they seem to go against, you know, I'm not talking about all of them, to be honest, because I'm a huge Binance bull. Like, I believe BNB will ultimately overtake Bitcoin. But the experience of some of the sort of tier two and tier three centralized exchanges for most projects is that they're incredibly costly and they're bringing very few benefits, and there's security risks. Everyone knows the sort of expression, if you have, it's not your seed phrase, it's not your crypto. Well, that's basically what CEXs are. They're just a virtual ledger, and I think it's a shame. But when we look at the innovations that some of the top tier CEXs are doing, I think the lower tier, the tier 2, 3, and 4 CEXs, to list on those exchanges costs the project, between $30,000 and $50,000. Then they have to spend money every month for market making and all of this stuff, and they bring very little value. And I think there's a risk. If an exchange gets hacked and you're on there and they've got $3 million of your token, that hacker's going to sell your token, because it's all stored in a single wallet on a CEX. That's why CEX hacks can be so. There's very few exchanges out there that we as a project believe have great value. Like, if Binance came to me, I would crawl to their head office and beg them to list us. But beyond 2 or 3 top tier exchanges, I think as an industry we need to look at these smaller exchanges and see if they're really just a cash shop for projects to pay them. If all the we're unsure if any of the volume is real, and these projects are making. I mean, these smaller exchanges are making tens of millions of dollars a year in listing fees, but there seems to be very little value beyond there, and there's that risk. And it's an interesting debate, that the centralized exchange debate.
I think that you are correct there, and I think the easiest way to judge this is by looking at the volume that projects get when they list compared to the actual trading volume, to kind of work out how much of their volume is actually real. Because you can definitely put some statistics together and work out what sort of percentage a project should be getting from the overall trading volume based on how good it actually is, to how much it says there is trading altogether. But
the issue is that market making and wash trading is rife, so you can never really know. There are some exchanges out there which I won't name, who I firmly believe, beyond Bitcoin, ETH, and BNB, I believe that 95% of their volume is wash trading, and it's designed to attract projects. When we as a project send 50K to an exchange, that's our community's money we're choosing to spend. We need to take really responsible decisions now. Like, we've learned our lessons. When Safely came out, and it March 2021 and all this, an exchange listing was such a buzz. It was huge publicity. It got everybody excited. The price went up. But I think that's in the past now. I don't think exchange listings, unless they are absolute top tier exchanges, really bring a great deal of value these days. And they cost holders a lot more money than the holders realize. And also, if they're not, as tokenomics aren't really working, I think we should all be working on ways to funnel as much volume as possible through swaps, where particularly tokenomics projects can benefit with rewards.
Yeah, that's a good summary. But yeah, I don't want to keep everyone too long and just keep it flowing. So I don't know if John, Luke, if you have any questions for Sam regarding Evergrow in particular.
You're facing any issues listing on top tier exchanges with tokenomics, like anything above 10%, I think top tier exchanges have an issue with. Did you hear that from them?
Yeah, I've heard that, not just from exchanges, but also things like CMC, etc. don't like it anymore. I'll be honest, I think top tier exchanges, I think the bigger question is that they want to see, they want to see projects with fundamental value. So for us, we've not we've not pursued them at this stage, because until we start generating millions of dollars of revenue and proving that to the world and getting the headlines, we feel it's probably, you don't get too many opportunities to approach a Binance, for example. And there are ways you can get to these companies, but you probably get one chance, and then if you go to them again, they roll their eyebrows, oh, these guys again, kind of thing. So we're just patient with that. But yes, I am aware that tokenomics is a major issue for a lot of exchanges, and a lot in crypto as well, which is a shame, but it's because they can't facilitate any kind of real tokenomics.
Yeah, because I really think they like trading volume. So I think this is what we did was growth once we listed on every exchange. And the reason we did so, just to comment on what you said before, is exposure. Even if they have 200 people looking at growth, there's an extra 200 people looking at it, right? And every exchange that we're listed on, we're listed with zero fees or zero percentages, because
Yes.
they want the volume. I want people to look at my project, and I think for us the aim to attract more eyes to Grove itself, and I went out 2 days ago and I said to people, like, all eyes on the Grove, but just for one reason, because when I send a tweet out, I do get around 1 million impressions. It doesn't translate to likes or retweets, but from an impression point of view, I think that's huge. But
I think
see,
the truth is that for the 30 to 50K that you spend on a listing, if you put that into marketing, you get far more value. Like Evergrow has 140,000 holders, and I don't believe.
I was there when you guys hit 100,000, to be quite honest.
Yeah, and we didn't have exchanges at that point. We had loads of technical issues. We had CMC screwing up our price. We did it through.
I remember that.
Exactly, yeah. We went through a nightmare, and we did it through, intelligent use of our resources, intelligent marketing. Look, to be honest, I've learned this from my own mistakes. We went for the hype of let's get everybody on, let's get as many exchanges as we can. It makes the community happy, but sometimes you've got to think above those things and say, look, the community don't actually realize that these listings don't do us any good. We have to be strong and say to the community. Now I've seen a real shift. When I tweeted out the other day, we're thinking of pulling out the exchanges, it was overwhelmingly supportive. I think there's been a shift. I think communities are far more educated than they were 6 to 9 months ago. I think we've all made mistakes. We've all unfortunately wasted, some money on things that we assumed would be good for our projects. I believe project leaders always do things that they believe will help their project, but it's a new industry, and we've learned a lot over the last sort of 9 or 10 months. And one of the things I've learned is that if I had that 30 to 50K again that I spent on certain exchanges, I would just spend it on marketing. I would not spend it on those exchanges. And I think it would translate into far more pancake swap volume, far more holders, better price. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, look, I do kind of agree. But see, from a marketing perspective, right, what kind of marketing do you guys do?
Well, if I told you, you'd know how we do it. No, the thing is, we do constant kind of subtle stuff, which I'm not going to dig too much into. I mean, some projects have picked up on it and they've duplicated it. Others haven't. But the reality is, we've said all along that we're in a bear market. We've been very financially responsible for the last sort of 4 months, holding on to our budget, which has allowed us to employ like a top development team now, because we haven't spent too much on marketing. So we keep marketing going, but we'll, once our utilities go live, which is very, very soon, that's when we're going to really start the marketing again, because we've kept our marketing kind of to tick over level. We've increased our holders, over the last few months by maybe 10 to 15,000, whereas in the hype phase, as you know, we hit like 100,000 within a few months. So I think, to be honest, during a bear market, you just have to be, you have to be sensible of how you spend your money. The best time to market is during a bull market. So also often, capital preservation is more important than growth at certain stages of a business cycle. And I think that's kind of where we are. But I agree with you guys. I don't think, I think we've probably seen the bottom. I don't want to give that as investment advice. There's always a chance we haven't. But same with the stock market. We had some June lows. Maybe we'll revisit them, maybe we won't. But I don't think there's any fundamental reason for us to go below. So I do think effectively, it's up from here. It's just about the timing. But once the markets start rallying, that's when we should all be throwing our budget into marketing, because that's when people will be FOMOing in. I don't like that kind of thing. I don't like the whole pump element of a project, but it's the reality of crypto, isn't it?
It is.